you're tuning into something different, something deeper. Welcome to a space where the unseen becomes seen, where the patterns beneath reality are decoded. This isn't just a podcast, it's a journey into the mechanics of belief, perception, and the multidimensional truths shaping our world. If you've ever felt like an outsider looking in, questioning the systems you're told to follow, you're in the right place. This is The Outcast, the Pattern Podcast. Let's dive in.
Ever get that feeling that reality, might be a bit more flexible than we think? Like maybe there are hidden strings being pulled somewhere.
Definitely. That kind of questioning is exactly where Robert Anton Wilson's The Illuminatus trilogy takes you.
And today we're diving into a commentary specifically on the first book, The Eye in the Pyramid.
Right, and this source isn't just a summary. It really digs into the methods behind the book, the core ideas.
Yeah, it offers some really fascinating angles. You shared this source, and it just sparked so many thoughts about the themes inside. So that's our plan. Unpack the commentary's best insights.
And one of the first things the commentary jumps on is the book's structure, how it's deliberately fragmented.
Deliberately fragmented. Okay, how so?
Well, the commentary argues this mirrors how conspiracy thinking often works. It's not linear, it feels kind of paranoid, things loop back, everything seems connected, sometimes tenuously.
Okay, so if you, the listener, ever picked up The Eye in the Pyramid and felt overwhelmed or lost.
That's the point. According to this analysis, anyway, the commentary calls it a ritual of disorientation. It's designed to knock you off your usual way of thinking.
A ritual. Interesting. So disorientation as a first step.
Exactly. The commentary suggests this confusion is almost like a cognitive initiation. By messing with our standard A to B story expectations, the book immerses you, or tries to, in the mental space where things like control systems, mental programming, and unquestioned dogma, where they operate.
So understanding why it feels chaotic is actually the first big takeaway from the commentary.
Precisely. It's not bad writing, it's a technique.
Got it. Okay, so who are the main players navigating this intentional chaos? The commentary lays out a few.
Yeah, first up is Joe Malick. He's an editor, starts looking into the murder of some left-wing activists.
And, surprise, surprise.
Right. It quickly spirals into a much bigger conspiracy. Secret societies and, yes, the Illuminati are involved, naturally.
And then there's George Dorn.
Yes, and the commentary has a great description for him. The everyman turned initiate.
Okay.
He gets sucked into this whole thing, goes through some pretty intense stuff, brainwashing, interrogation,
Right.
and eventually has this major psychedelic awakening. His journey seems to mirror the book's larger themes about perception and reality.
And we absolutely have to talk about Hagbard Celine.
Oh, definitely.
Whoa.
The commentary paints him vividly anarchist pirate, a Discordian.
Which is that philosophy embracing chaos, right? Finding the pattern in the noise almost.
Sort of, yeah. Finding liberation in the absurd and acknowledging chaos. And he's sailing around in a golden submarine.
You can't make this stuff up. Well, they did.
Right. And his position is fighting the Illuminati, but for this idea of Discordian freedom, it's a wild setup.
It really is. And the commentary notes something else important here. There are factions within factions.
Yes. That's crucial. It immediately messes with the idea of one big monolithic conspiracy.
Right. No single group pulling all the strings perfectly.
Exactly. It suggests something more complex, maybe even contradictory networks of belief and power fighting each other, which ties right into the philosophy the commentary explores.
Which is?
This idea of the multiplicity of truth. The commentary highlights how the book treats belief itself as something powerful, maybe even like a weaponized system.
Okay, belief as a weapon. How does that work?
Well, tied into that is the concept of reality tunnels. Think of them like cognitive filters. Your personal beliefs, your experiences, the culture you're in, they all shape this tunnel you perceive reality through.
So everyone's got their own tunnel, their own version of reality.
That's the idea. And the commentary pulls a quote from the book that nails it. You create your own reality tunnel. You believe it's the truth, but it's just your version of the chaos.
Your version of the chaos. That really shifts perspective.
It does. And the commentary is careful to say the book isn't pushing like total nihilism. It's not about believing nothing.
Okay, so what's the alternative?
Oh, it's more about a specific kind of abandonment of belief, holding your own beliefs more lightly, recognizing that any truth might just be one interpretation, one possible mask, covering the underlying chaos.
Holding beliefs lightly. That's challenging.
Very. It fundamentally questions the idea that there's one single objective reality we can all access in the same way.
Let's talk about symbols then,
Absolutely.
specifically the big one, the eye in the pyramid. The commentary points out its dual nature.
Right. On one hand, it's the obvious symbol of surveillance, control, secret knowledge, Big Brother is watching.
The Illuminati watching, perhaps.
Exactly. But the commentary reminds us it also has this older, meaning divine perception, spiritual awakening, the all-seeing eye of God in some traditions.
So the book plays with both meanings.
Cleverly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
According to the commentary, it forces you to ask, who is doing the seeing and why? Is it control or is it enlightenment? Or both.
And it goes deeper than just external forces, right?
Yep.
The commentary mentions the pyramid as a psychological construct.
That's a really powerful idea from the source, that these hierarchies, these control structures, aren't just out there. We can internalize them.
How so?
Well, think about self-criticism, ingrained social norms, unquestioned assumptions. The commentary puts it bluntly. You are your own Illuminati unless you can deprogram yourself.
Wow, okay. You are your own Illuminati. That lands hard.
It does, and it leads straight into another major theme the commentary identifies. Programming and deprogramming.
This sounds like getting into the mind control aspects.
It is. The commentary sees the book as a critique of all the systems that program us. Religion, media, education, even countercultures sometimes. They all shape our thinking, often unconsciously.
And you mentioned George Dorn's interrogation.
Yes. The commentary specifically links his experiences to things like CIA MK-Ultra techniques, showing the dark side of deliberate mind manipulation.
But it's not just about being programmed, is it? There's an alternative.
Thankfully, yes. The commentary highlights Hagbard-Celine's idea of metaprogramming.
Metaprogramming.
The ability to step back, observe your own programming, your thoughts, beliefs, reactions, and then consciously choose to change or edit them.
Taking control of the controls.
Exactly. The commentary connects this to later figures like John Lilly and Timothy Leary, who talked about re-imprinting.
Yeah.
The takeaway, according to the commentary, is becoming your own mind control technician.
Actively managing your own software, so to speak.
You got it.
Okay, so amid all this programming control, there's also this thread of anarchy versus authority. Hagbard's submarine comes back here.
Yeah, the commentary sees the Golden Submarine as this powerful symbol of, total freedom, sovereign mobility, a way to literally sail away from fixed systems and ideologies.
A physical escape representing a mental one.
Pretty much. And the commentary draws a sharp contrast between the two philosophies clashing in the book. You've got authoritarianism, often claiming it's for your own good, demanding obedience for the sake of order.
The traditional power structure.
Right. And then you have discordianism, which embraces chaos, finds humor in absurdity, but, and this is key, according to the commentary, it knows it's absurd. It's self-aware about its own nature.
And the self-awareness is important.
The commentary argues it makes discordianism more honest, in a weird way. It's not pretending to have the one true answer or demanding you believe it unconditionally.
Interesting. Now, the commentary also touches on something called metatextual playfulness. What's that about? Sounds complicated.
It's definitely mind-bending. It refers to how the book plays with itself as a book. Think footnotes that contradict the main text.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. Timelines that seem to loop or make no sense. Characters who actually mention the book Illuminatus within the story.
Okay, that's breaking the fourth wall and then some.
Totally. And the commentary points out how Wilson and Shea weave in real history the actual Bavarian Illuminati, the Kennedy assassination, blurring that line between what's real in our world and what's fiction in the book.
Why do that? Just to mess with the reader?
Well, yes, partly. But the commentary argues it has a specific purpose to induce epistemological vertigo.
Epistemological vertigo, like dizziness about what you know.
Exactly, a feeling where you start questioning what's reliable information, what sources can you trust, even doubting your own perception.
And the commentary's conclusion on that.
That the book ultimately pushes you towards only trusting what you have personally tested, what you've verified through your own experience. Don't just take anyone's word for it, not even the books.
Okay, that's a powerful effect. But despite all this chaos, deception, vertigo, the commentary suggests there's something deeper. It calls the book a serious spiritual text hidden in a clown suit.
Yeah, that's a fantastic line from the commentary. It argues that beneath the wild satire and conspiracy plots, there are genuine spiritual teachings.
Like what?
Things like detachment from rigid ideologies we talked about, holding beliefs lightly. Cultivating inner sovereignty, not by fighting externally necessarily, but by understanding and dismantling the symbols within your own mind, reclaiming your own awareness.
Reclaiming awareness. Which brings us back to the eye symbol again.
It does. The commentary suggests that seeing the eye in the book's context isn't just about realizing external surveillance, but also recognizing the internal surveillance, your inner critic, your cultural programming, those unconscious beliefs that watch and judge you constantly. Seeing that eye.
So wrapping this commentary up, it seems the eye in the pyramid is presented as much more than just a psychedelic romp.
Absolutely. The commentary frames it as this intense, sometimes bewildering, but ultimately purposeful initiation.
An initiation into what?
Into symbol literacy, learning to read the hidden meanings, into philosophical flexibility, being able to hold multiple perspectives, and ultimately into self-sovereignty, taking charge of your own mind.
And maybe the commentary's biggest insight is that the book isn't trying to sell you a new belief system.
Exactly. It's not saying believe this instead.
Instead, it's showing you how belief systems work, how they're constructed, how they trap us, how we might maybe step outside them.
Precisely. It exposes the mechanics of belief itself, using its own chaotic structure as the tool.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a really potent question to chew on, building on that you are your own Illuminati idea.
Yeah, think about one belief you hold really strongly, something you feel certain about.
Okay.
Now, just consider what programming, family, culture, school, media, personal experiences might have helped build that certainty. What factors contributed to it feeling so solid?
And then the crucial step.
What happens if you just try, maybe just mentally, to hold that belief a little more lightly? Not necessarily discard it, but just loosen the grip for a moment. What does that feel like? What else might become visible?
Definitely some deep food for thought there. Thanks for exploring this commentary with us.